All right, here we are, another best of one, this time between Team Freedom and IsGG. We followed IsGG yesterday through their open qualifier trek to make it here to the regionals, and they'll be facing Team Freedom for their second game. They ended up losing to NP in their first game over on Beyond the Summit, and now they're here to try and equal it up at 1 win, 1 loss. And we'll get right into the draft and see if they can do so. So, bans come out from both sides. Team Freedom, they're going to ban out the Kato and Centaur, two heroes with very high win rates recently in this patch. And then for the side of IsGG, they'll ban out the Abaddon, the Lone Druid, and now the Axe and the Bristleback and Weaver banned out by Team Freedom. In terms of picks, we see the Wisp, we see the Shadow Fiend for the side of Team Freedom. Well, IsGG, they've gone with the Sand King as well as the Windrunner. So, in terms of these hero positions, we have seen this many times before for IsGG. Sand King going to be in that off lane, and Windrunner going to be in that position 4. I expect Team Freedom to ban out the Life Stealer next. That is Life Stealer with an L, even though people believe that I pronounce it with a W. If I do, I do. But Google still picks it up with an L for me. So, Sand King picked up and Witch Doctor banned out by Team Freedom. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Life Stealer coming out in the next phase for IsGG. They're going to pick up a Warlock, so Warlock will be in that 5, Windrunner in the 4, Sand King off, and then let's see what Team Freedom does, as they've already got the Shadow Fiend for mid as well as the Wisp.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
So, getting into reserve time here for the side of Team Freedom, which consists of Eagle, BSJ, Banana Slam Jamma, Jubei, IX Mike, Tomato, and while the side of IsGG consists of QO, JO, Stan King, Flea, and Mad. And a team that played very well yesterday. They really showed that they love playing the early game. They like forcing the aggression onto the opponent and really trying to take an early lead and extend it throughout the game and not looking back. And that's something that you can do with a Sand King Life Stealer combo. And that might be coming out for them next. Team Freedom, they got to be thinking about it, and they might be forced to take it themselves in the safe lane, knowing that it might be the next pick for IsGG. Once that Life Stealer hits level 6, he does get that armlet very early on. JO's been farming at an amazing rate with the Life Stealer if they do pick it, and they actually go with the Sniper, so they leave it open for discussion coming into the next pick. So they pick up the Sniper mid, Sand King offlane still with the Windrunner and Warlock. I'm still expecting that pick to be taken by IsGG 5th if it doesn't get banned out. And then Team Freedom, they picked up the Undying, and now they still need a safe lane as well as an offlaner.
5 seconds remaining.
So Batrider offlane for the side of Team Freedom, which I do like. You try to get into the face of a sniper, not let him sit too far back. And when you can lasso him and line him up for a Requiem, it is a very nice combination. And that with the Undying, pull him back in, Tombstone gets placed, and then the team fight looks pretty good for the side of Team Freedom, especially once that sniper's taken out of the fight. So both teams need their safe laners. We'll see what each team goes to ban out. Spectre banned out by IsGG. I mean, I gotta say it again, reiterate myself time and time again that I do believe this Life Stealer is going to be either banned or picked coming into this IsGG draft. And I think Team Freedom, if they watched anything yesterday of this squad, they should know that they favored that pick quite a bit.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
So just waiting for this last ban. A lot of thought going into it by Team Freedom. Down to about 10 seconds left on the reserve time. And in my opinion, I don't think there's much to think about unless they're thinking about their last pick. And they're going to actually end up banning the Jug, and they'll pick up the Lifestealer. They're, in my opinion, forced to do so. Either ban it or pick it. And that's what they'll do with the last pick. They ban the Jug, and then they pick up the Lifestealer themselves. And Lifestealer on the side of Team Freedom, he still has a good vehicle to get into the side of IsGG. Infest on the Batrider, and then pop from there, or even just relocate with the Wisp. The choice is theirs, and now IsGG, they don't get that signature hero for JO. And now they got to think of what else they can pick up that really fits this team. They do have Shackle Shot, they've got the Burrow Strike, and some good slow from both the Warlock and the Sniper, so we'll have to see what they do in terms of a last pick. I do think they need another stun going their way. Maybe we see another safe lane Ember come out, Searing Chain, Sleight of Fist, a very solid hero with this lineup as well. So we'll see what IsGG choose to go with. They kind of get put out of their comfort zone, not picking up that Lifestealer, which I think was very crucial to their draft and should have been picked up instead of the Sniper 4th. But hopefully we see something different come out from QO in terms of a pick, and we'll be ready in just a moment once that pick's done and ready for the game, and they're going to go Void. So a last pick of Void, which I'm not too sure about. I do like it in many ways. I like that Sniper, if he gets enough farm, gets that Dragon Lance, or really doesn't even need a Dragon Lance, can just really hit from the outside in on a Chronosphere, and that's what you're looking for. You know, you want that damage output to be there. You know, early on, Void isn't that strong, and the Chronosphere is there to set up the team. Now, Windrunner, Sniper can both hit in on to this Chronosphere from the outside, and they can be pretty safe about it too. So Windrunner, we're going to see probably get a Blink Dagger early on, try and be able to move around the map well enough, and then Sniper looking for possibly a Maelstrom to come out early for him and really be able to hit into this Chronosphere for Void. On the other hand, Team Freedom, they'll be looking for the pickoffs, looking for a good game going the way of this Shadow Fiend. And we'll have to see what they get moving forward. So we'll take a look at both sides. We take a look over at IsGG. Jo going to be on the Void. Mad again on that Windrunner. Flea back on the Sand King. And then QO on the Sniper. Stan King on the Warlock, making it very easy for me, of course. And on the other side, IX Mike's going to be playing that Batrider. We take a look over. Eagle's going to be out on the Undying. Jubei on the Wisp. BSJ on the Lifestealer. And then finally, Tomato with the Shadow Fiend. So I do think Sniper is or should be favored up against this Shadow Fiend. Of course, there's going to be a little bit of help coming in mid from the Wisp. And safe lane, it should be this Void, unless they choose to throw the Sand King down low, which I wouldn't be too surprised about. Meanwhile, IsGG, they are looking for a play over at this top bounty room, but getting pushed back will be this Batrider IX Mike, who does come back into the jungle. So if he does get spotted, maybe we find them a kill on the side of IsGG. They're looking for that aggressive first blood play, and this is exactly how they play. So they do find IX Mike. There's the power shot through with the Burrow Strike. This will push him back 3 stacks of sticky napalm, but IX Mike in a whole bunch of trouble. 5 seconds until that power shot is back up, but they won't even need it as the Burrow Strike comes in again from Flea, and they'll grab that first blood out on IX Mike. So again, the aggression is where this team of IsGG likes to play. They play aggressive, they play in your face, Dota, and we'll see how it works out for them in this game. And they do have a very early, well-hitting lineup. that will favor that early aggression play style. For Freedom, they've put BSJ in the off lane with this Lifestealer, and Undying will be here with the Wisp. So it leaves Shadow Fiend by himself up against QO, who with a couple of levels will make this lane a little bit harder for Tomato. And then we take a look up top. It's going to be Flea with Mad, Windrunner, Sand King combo up against IX Mike. So a tri-lane in this off lane for the side of Team Freedom. Jo probably going to struggle a little bit for farm. Maybe we see a bit of a rotation come out from possibly Flea to make this a tri-lane of their own. So, last hits right now do favor Sand King over this Bat Rider, who is going to struggle. There's definitely some potential for kills up here for the side of his GG. And we took a look at this Sniper who's getting very low. Needs to really be careful. QO, again, this aggressive style is a double-edged sword, because you can go in, make those plays, get those kills, and put yourself ahead. But the second you find yourself caught out, you're in a lot of trouble, as, you know, Sniper's not one of those heroes that plays well from behind. So Fatal Bonds comes through on Jubei as well as BSJ, but just really trying to harass them and push them out, not looking for anything too crazy this early on, 2 minutes in. I don't think the rotations are going to come out from the side of his GG, as they just try to farm up, get this Sand King his Blink Dagger, and then see if Flea can make the plays he was making yesterday a little bit later on in this game. So Fatal Bond's doing a little bit here on BSJ. He's going to get healed up by that Soul Rip of Eagle. And continuing to just harass Jo is the side of Freedom down low. So now in a bit of trouble is IX Mike again, as he gets hit by that power shot. A couple of more shots should do it. He actually flies over the trees, maybe making a bit of a poor decision, but does get out. Meanwhile, over mid, we're going to miss the kill because we thought something would happen top, but Tomato gets the kill on QO mid, and that is not good when your side of is GG. I just said recently that Sniper's not one of those heroes that plays very well from behind. So hopefully he finds himself with a bit of a comeback in terms of kills, last hits, and net worth, but we'll have to see, as QO's gone the double Wraith Band build, and that kill did happen due to the fact that there was a rotation from Jubei to help this Shadow Fiend dive. So Eagle, BSJ, they're still just sitting down here. The Lifestealer doing okay. It's 17-6. And sitting up top of that CS chart, a little bit of a competition between him and Flea. And then there's another Burrow Strike going to come through on IX Mike. Going to be combined with that power shot. Mad, he should be looking for a Shackle once he gets it to about level 2 or 3. But the power shot's doing a lot of damage and will continue to hurt more. As he gets it to level 3, you usually do like a 2-3. In between these two, really get that power shot hitting hard and try and find yourself a combination with the Burrow Strike, possibly a Shackle shot, then a power shot. You can really set up and get a couple of kills up top. As IX Mike, he's only here with one more Tango and might be a little bit of trouble as the harassment still comes his way. We take a look over mid. QO just trying to do what he can. He's 15-1. This SF 23-7. Tomato doing okay. Does have himself boots Aqua as well, looking for the treads. And then again, like I said, we take a look away for 2 seconds, and IX Mike falls again. This time to Flea and Mad, as I assume it was Shackle shot, power shot, as well as the Burrow Strike. But I'm so glad the fight recap gives me everything I need to know. So 2-1 in favor of is GG. Take a look over. They do lead by about 500 net worth, and the other lanes doing well should open it up for QO mid, but they are struggling a little bit down low. They are winning up top, so JO's got to find himself a little bit of farm, as he's 15-1 behind this 29-8. Lifestealer uses the open wounds out on Jo. There's the Shadow Word to heal him up just a bit, but he's still continuing to take quite a bit of harass from BSJ that will push him back a little bit, and Shadow Word will heal him up. And he should be okay to stay in lane. So he wants to farm as much as he can, do as much as he can. And now they're looking for IX Mike, who might be in a little bit of trouble. Flea should be able to spot him, as well as Mad, who sits under this Firefly damage. They get another kill up top, and that's now a third going their way with this duo up against IX Mike, who's found himself dead 3 times already. You know, this is the initiator for the side of Team Freedom's. Oh boy, Stan King in a whole bunch of trouble. He'll be hit by the open wounds, the spirits, the decay, and just BSJ ripping him apart. And they'll find themselves a kill on Team Freedom. So like I was saying, this is the initiator for Team Freedom. They want him to be able to get a Force Staff, get a Blink, and be able to move in onto the side of his GG. He's a solid part of the team fight with their lockdown when he has that lasso out. But if he can't find an early Blink, they could be in a little bit of trouble in terms of aggression from the side of Team Freedom. And they'll have to be careful going into these fights up against ISGG. We're looking for a Blink out on Flea, who already has 1100 gold. And is doing very well, involved in 3 kills already. So it looked as though there might have been a rotation coming in from Freedom, but they're not going to get anything down low as they do back off from the gank. Might have just been Shrine, but I didn't really see all too much. And it's gonna these 3 deaths are going to force IX Mike out into the jungle, and not the safest of spots for him either. It is GG. They can roam around Mad and Flea, and he'd be found out once again, get shackled with the Burrow Strike, and be dead once more. So he definitely needs more wards up in this jungle. He needs to have vision to keep himself safe, and there are no wards throughout this entire jungle for the side of Team Freedom. That leaves him very open and very vulnerable. So Tomato going to show himself coming over his Flea. There's the Shackle Shot. Or not the Shackle Shot, excuse me, the Shrapnel coming on through, but not going to do anything. Jubei's there to protect his core Tomato Shadow Fiend, and it looks as though they're going to try and back up. There's the Burrow Strike to get some distance. 1 stack of Sticky Napalm as well as a second. They're going to continue to dive here as there's the Shadow Word, and maybe they find themselves a kill on Stan King as a couple of raises hit. They're trying to get a little bit more on Stan King, who's really getting dove on by IX Mike. This is not the play. He is in too deep, and he's trying to keep, but not enough, as he will fall to both the combination of Stan King and QO. They also lose Jubei on the back end with that Wisp. It's now 5-2, and the aggression, like I said, it could be a double-edged sword. This time it's a double-edged sword for the side of Team Freedom, as you like to feel comfortable with that aggression and make those plays, but it can cause you to be caught out, and they dove way too far, and they put some kills right into the hands of his GG, and a kill that helps QO get right on back into this game. We'll switch it over to the net worth about 8.5 minutes in. We do see that the lead is here for Shadow Fiend and Lifestealer, and IX Mike again taking just so much damage up top. He can't find himself a place to farm safely, and coming over is Mad, who's going to try and get himself a Shackle Shot, maybe even a Power Shot on through. So IX Mike is going to have to be doing some juking. Does get out, and now Tomato's up here. Mad, oh boy, you're going to be dead, as he does not have that wind run and has to man fight Tomato, and it does not end in his favor. I mean, I could say it again, double-edged sword. They try to be aggressive there, they get caught out, they give up a kill to a Shadow Fiend. So BSG going to try and TP out Jo. No Chronosphere for him. There's the Assassinate locked in by QO, but not going to be shot, as the Lifestealer will be able to just TP out. So net worth lead is there for the side of his GG. Not a huge lead, as they are letting the Shadow Fiend and Lifestealer farm pretty well. And BSJ almost has that armlet as well as that level 6, so they might be looking to make a play, but it is all dependent on whether or not IX Mike gets this Blink Dagger soon. It's very tough for him to find a Blink Dagger, as he's been got on so many times. He's died 4 times already, and his lane has been near impossible to look good for him. So the trouble is there for a Bat Rider, who, of course, will eventually get that Blink Dagger. At least we hope so, and that'll be the key for Team Freedom to really play a little bit more aggressive while still being safe in doing so. So Tomato, QO, they do just spot each other. We'll back off as Jubei is here to heal up Tomato if he's in trouble. A little bit of taunts come out, but no one's really there to see it except for Jubei. So Jo does have this Chronosphere ready to go. I wouldn't be surprised to see it here with Mad on the wing ready to go. You know, we could see a nice couple of power shots come through for the Windrunner. Does have that medallion to make it a little bit easier if they do find the right positioning. Meanwhile, up top, in trouble might be Flea. There's 2 stacks of sticky napalm here. It looks like the relocate's going to come in from Tomato and Jubei, and Flea, he's going to be able to blink away, finding himself some space. The relocate is only there for 6 more seconds, and he might be able to pull back Tomato. Let's see if they do get the kill. The Burrow Strike to open up even more space, and Flea already having this blink dagger. He's making so much space for his team, and now they might even look to turn it around. There's the assassination coming out from QO, and it's a kill going the way of GG. So aggression hurting Team Freedom once again.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
So the aggression hurts Team Freedom. GG will take advantage of it. They'll look to take this tier 1 mid, and they should be able to do so with ease. Nobody really coming to contest. And GG, they'll extend that lead to about 1,200. It's not really breaking out too even because of the sheer fact that Tomato and BSJ are farming so well. They've pushed this bottom tier 1 tower down, and BSJ kind of really not contested in farm at all. He's up 700 to this sniper and up 2,000 to his counterpart, Faceless Void, and GG, they really need to make something happen to slow either the Shadow Fiend or this Lifestealer up. They need to slow them up just a little bit and kind of put themselves back into the lead for their cores. Their cores have some nice farm. Their 4 are next after the Shadow Fiend and the Lifestealer, but they need to be able to find the right comeback material, and they do get the Shackle Shot out with the Shrapnel. Here comes the Burrow Strike from Flea, and another kill for GG, and that'll do it. That'll bring QO getting a bit more farm, and now we take a look over mid as the rotations do come out. They might be trying to find something out on the Shadow Fiend. They do get the Burrow Strike coming in. Tomato, he's really running the wrong way as there's the Chronosphere thrown. The Wisp will not be able to get this Shadow Fiend out, and he will fall, so it's 2 going their way. There's the Burrow Strike, and another as Jubei falls, and it's a double kill for Jo, and now 9-3 in favor of GG. So it's GG really putting themselves back up and starting to take a 2,000 net worth lead. They'll take a tier 3 off of this, or tier 2 off of this, excuse me, and the Warlock ult was very solid on the back of that fight. Open Wounds comes out. Jo might be in a little bit of trouble. He's going to Time Walk to make some space. He doesn't have Chronosphere for another 90 seconds. There's the Tombstone drop by Eagle. The Decay comes out on 2, and infested in is this Creep. So looking for a couple of return kills is Team Freedom, but they just see that they don't have the means to get it. So Helm of the Dominator picked up here for this Void. We take a look over at QO, who's looking towards that Dragon Lance. He does have enough money for it if he goes for it next. Let's see if it's that or a Yasha. But then for Flea, he's looking for the Force Staff as he's already got himself that Blink. For the other side, Team Freedom, Dragon Lance picked up here for Tomato and just about to finish off this Shadow Blade. And over for BSJ, he's going for the Radiance. I'm never a huge fan of this build. I do really favor the Armlet Echo Saber Desolator, but we'll definitely see how it works out for BSJ and this Team Freedom squad, and we'll see if he can get it. His farm's been pretty solid thus far, and he hasn't really fallen too much, and it shouldn't really be a problem for him to finish off this Radiance. And then this is a big item, in my opinion, coming out from Mad. He picks up that Solar Crest, just making these kills that much easier for the side of GG. So, smoke comes out for the side of Freedom. They've finally got that blink out on IX Mike, who's died 5 times, 0-5 and 1, sitting very well in that net worth, but he does manage to get that blink, and let's see if they can make it worth it. The scan comes out from the side of GG. And it will spot both IX Mike and Eagle. Of course, they don't know how many are coming, but they know someone's there, and that's enough information for the side of IzGG to really just back off. And by back off, I mean let's be aggressive, as there's a 3-man smoke coming out for IzGG. QO, JO, Stan, King, as they look towards top and might be able to find themselves something, as JO does have that Chronosphere available, and QO has the Dragonlance. So just going to use this Alpha Wolf to kind of scout forward. They have the ward here already. There's the blink forward from Flea. They're trying to find something, and the wards are here for the side of Team Freedom. Meanwhile, on the back end, Mad does not know he's about to be blown up by Tomato, who comes in with the Requiem of Souls and gets himself a kill. The Chronosphere comes out. Jo is going to be the only one in it, and actually it's going to be BSJ in there as well on the edge. And now the Epicenter comes on through with the Burrow Strike, and he might be in a little bit of trouble. BSJ surviving for the longest time right now, and they've lost 3 on the side of IzGG. QO falls, Stan King is down as well, and Flea will fall as Freedom turn this fight around, and Tomato with the Ultra kill will put Team Freedom right back into it. So Requiem comes through, as well as this huge team fight. It was an off-the-mark Chronosphere for Jo, only grabbing BSJ, who had the ability to survive. They only take out IS Mike, which in itself is okay, as now they've got the lasso coming through again, and Mad might be in a little bit of trouble. Now coming through, BSJ going to be assassinated, and the Fatal Bonds is out on quite a couple of them on the side of Freedom, so they need to turn around and retreat. They don't get this Roche, and they leave it very low, which now could go the way of IzGG, especially with that Solar Crest out on Mad. Now trying to come back in is the side of Team Freedom. The Burrow Strike hits on 2. Eagle's going to fall. Tomato trying to find raises. He will not, and now Jo backs off with a Time Walk and tries to get out of range of that Tombstone. The Assassinate again on IX Mike. He's going to blink disjoint it. And now it looks as though IzGG is going to go in on this Roche, and they really do not want to give it up on the side of Freedom. They're trying to find a way back in, but they only have 4 up. And they will not find it, and the Aegis will go the way of QO on this sniper. So Hurricane Pike almost finished for QO. There it is. And then we take a look over at this Void. JO's got himself that Yasha and the Helm of the Dominator just about level 12. And catching up to the Shadow Fiend is QO, but QO still quite a bit of ways behind Tomato, who's got that Silver Edge, as well as the Dragonlance. So things okay for the side of IzGG. We take a look at the net worth after all is said and done. Meanwhile, there's a lasso coming on through. Might be a little bit of trouble for Mad, who's trying to get out, but he's surrounded by 3. There's a big Chronosphere coming out for Jo. The Assassination's going to fly on through to IX Mike. The Burrow Strike and the Epicenter follow it up on all 3, and they will get another in the Undying. But meanwhile, it's going to be turned around by Tomato, who finds himself a kill on Flea, and it looks as though IzGG need to go the other direction and can't look to push this forward. It was a good Chronosphere, a great Epicenter to follow it up, but not enough to bring down the Lifestealer, who stays alive, and Tomato turns it around and gets a kill on Flea and forces the retreat of IzGG. So still a slight lead for IzGG. And they're playing okay on the side of Team Freedom 2. They get out there, they keep their Lifestealer alive, who's still looking for that Radiance, and a bit off from that Sacred Relic. And just about 1,000 off, and then 1,350, so 2,350 away from the Radiance is this Lifestealer. And then we take a look at Tomato, who just has this huge lead looking for what should be a BKB next. So despite having the lead, it looks as though these fights are not going the way of IzGG. They've got the Aegis out on Sniper, as well as the Hurricane Pike. Now going to pick up a Maelstrom. The Chronos, the Epicenters were on the money there. They just don't have enough to follow it up to take out the Lifestealer, who I think they should have tried to focus, him or the Shadow Fiend. Instead, they focused IX Mike, who had already used his lasso and at that point wasn't really much of a problem.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
So they take the bottom tier 1, they lose their top tier 1, and they continue to look for a tier 2. And rotations only out from Eagle, so they should be okay to grab this tier 2. It is glyphed up. They're continuing to move in on it. Now coming in from the back could be IX Mike, who's infested with BSJ and does have the lasso back online. But they'll lose this tier 2. The side of IsGG will back off, and some solid aggression, some solid plays as they grab themselves a tier 1, a tier 2, and actually don't lose a tier 2 of their own. So BSJ has enough for this Sacred Relic. Just head over to the secret shop and pick it right on up. Meanwhile, up top, Maelstrom still getting built for QO, and he gets that Mithril Hammer first just in case he thinks about changing it to a BKB over on the Void. I think the recipe is coming out with that Manta. Nope, not yet. So BKB finished here for Shadow Fiend. And he is just so far ahead of the next on the list, Sniper, who's only got himself 9,400 net worth. Meanwhile, Tomato almost 15,000, just so far ahead, and he's been the one changing these fights. Meanwhile, IsGG, they're smoked up, and they are moving forward. Flea trying to find a nice blink as well as a burrow strike, and sitting back in their base is the side of Freedom. They know they're off the map on the side of IsGG, and now it looks as though QO and JO will not show themselves. I don't think they're seen by creeps, but QO showing himself might force out Team Freedom just a bit. Radiance finished for this Life Stealer and infested into IX Mike. They're trying to make the play from the Shrine. There's the blink in as well as the lasso, but Burrow Strike comes on through. There's the infest pops. They get the Force Staff back on QO. There's a big Chronosphere to save his life, and there's the ulti to follow up from the Warlock. They're going to get one in Bat Rider, but they've already lost QO. JO's going to have to time walk out, and now they're moving on forward with BSJ and Eagle as they're trying to find themselves a kill on Mad. Mad in a whole bunch of trouble. He'll get that Shackle Shot out on BSJ, but it's not going to be enough as he's surrounded by the entire side of Freedom, who will get themselves another kill, so it's a 2-for-1 trade, and taking out QO, it will be huge for Team Freedom, who seem to be in the driver's seat of this game. So they take that fight 2-1. IX Mike, despite having an abysmal start, doing very well with those infests and getting those lassos on point while he's infested is what I mean. So there's the Silver Edge used by this Shadow Fiend. Will back himself up. They get the tier 2. They took out QO as well. And extending that net worth lead is Tomato on the Shadow Fiend. BSJ finally surpasses Sniper. And he's got himself that Radiance Armlet as well as Phase Boots. And he's going to be going for the Manta style. So interesting build coming out from the Lifestealer. And IsGG, they do have the next 4 in the net worth, but how much can they do with it?
I'll take your tribute.
As they now sit about even in terms of net worth, and however they are up 4,000 experience. So just continuing to farm is this Shadow Fiend Tomato, who's looking for the Butterfly next. That'll be a huge item for him. He's almost unkillable at this point, and with a Butterfly, IsGG would have an even tougher time moving forward. Now QO, he does have that Maelstrom that'll boost up the farm just a little bit. We take a look over at JO, who does have this Manta style and Helm of the Dominator. Probably going to go for a Diffusal Blade next on this Faceless Void, but again, it has still been quite the struggle for the side of IzGG in these team fights. They get the good initiation, they're getting good Chronospheres and Epicenters, they just can't finish the deed.
Regeneration.
So both teams just farming up, maybe setting up to smoke. There is a smoke here on Eagle. Infest will go into IX Mike. And let's see if they take a look at going in on the side of IzGG, or maybe even look to head towards Roche, which is not up for quite some time.
This will come in handy.
So there's the Force Staff forward as well as the lasso and Blink. They get Flea caught out. They will find themselves a kill. IX Mike gets one. That's a solid pickoff for the side of Freedom. And now the side of IzGG, they have to back off. Freedom do have control of this Roche area, but with Roche not being up yet, they can't take advantage. They do get themselves a kill. It does extend their lead, and looking pretty good is the side of Freedom at this point in the game. No, trying to clear out my throat, and it's not working. So both teams elect to go back and farm, especially since that the Roche area was controlled by Freedom, but no Roche to take, and they'll continue to farm and look for this butterfly probably before they fight, or just wait for the Roche timing to head back towards that area, look for a fight against IzGG. Meanwhile, IzGG, they'll just farm away, push out these creep waves, and just try and make something happen. So again, Freedom over by this Roche pit. Still trying to see if Roche is up. Back in just a moment. And they'll sit nearby looking to take this second Aegis, as they lost the first one. Or lost out on getting the first one. So Infested back in IX Mike. It's BSJ, and they're looking to make that play once again. If they could take a team fight, they'll head straight to Roche, get the Aegis, and continue pushing forward. There it is. There's the Firefly. IX Mike in a spot man, but he's going to be hit by that Shackle Shot. Here's the Barrel Strike coming on through, and now hitting away is QO. Oh, boy. Chronosphere just not there. Tomato, he's going to get himself a nice Requiem. They get 3 and 4 on the side of Team Freedom. They do lose the Undying, and QO is going to get that kill, and just getting away is JO. It all falls apart for IzGG. It goes very well for the side of Team Freedom. 4-for-1 trade right into the Roche pit they go. The Requiem was there and on the money from Tomato. That combined with how far forward he is in terms of net worth, there's just never a chance for IzGG in that team fight. They take a 4,000 net worth lead. Butterfly finish for Tomato. They'll take this Aegis and look to continue, and maybe we see our first high ground siege of the game.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
They've got all 5 up on the side of IzGG, but Team Freedom know how far up they are. They've seen how easy these fights are, and maybe they'll use that confidence and aggression to look towards their first tier 3. So no Chronosphere for 35 seconds. Over by this shrine, just farming these ancients is BSJ, who's got that full Manta style, and then take a look over on Shadow Fiend now with that Butterfly. So they'll continue to push, get this tier 2, get themselves a little bit more money in the bank. They're all here on the side of Freedom. And there's another smoke play coming out as IX Mike with BSJ and Eagle are going to make their way over mid. Meanwhile, up top, Flea just trying to push as much as he can. Just try to force Team Freedom back. Not going to be too successful in doing so. And now coming up top is this combination of Lifestealer, Batrider, and Undying, who they might be able to find one out if they kept going forward. But Jo going to move back, as well as IX Mike, Eagle, and BSJ. They'll go the other way. So just looking to find a pick. Moving over is QO. Not spotted by this ward just yet, but they are looking for something from the side of Freedom. Gonna Hurricane Pike, not gonna get to the high ground, so he'll have to run all the way down bottom. And the aggression from Freedom, it looked as though it would be a lasso on QO, is not gonna be there as he makes enough space. So they grab themselves a smoke on Freedom, just trying to make these plays, push this tier 2. They'll get the last outer tower. And is GG, their aggression not working out for them this game.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
It seemed as though they lacked the centerpiece to this draft. The Faceless Void not really working out for them. They haven't really landed that well of Chronospheres onto the side of Team Freedom. As Freedom now, they look towards this tier 3 top. So they back off, they smoke up, and they leave Tomato to show himself. Very far back is the side of his GG, but that's not going to stop IX Mike from going in. There's the ulti coming in from Warlock on the lasso, but now it looks as though QO is going to be the first one to fall. It's a godlike streak coming in for Tomato, and now the epicenter, it's going to be an NA one as it doesn't hit anybody on the side of Freedom. Continuing to go in is Tomato. He's not stopping at anything, and now the buyback's going to be there from QO. Moving back with that Hurricane Pike, he's going to be QO as he pushes back BSJ, but the Rage is going to be there. Now the Burrow Strike comes up through. SF might be in a little bit of trouble. There's the Chronosphere trying to get the retreat of 2 of these heroes on the side of Team Freedom. They will be able to get this Wisp, but they do lose Warlock in the back end. Tomato trying to get away. He'll use that Silver Edge to get out, but it won't be enough as he will fall and the Aegis will be popped. Now he's going to be hit by that Burrow Strike again, and Tomato, he might be taken down for what looks to be the first time this game, is now IX Mike is going to be the next one to fall. They've lost 2 on the side of Team Freedom, only losing the Warlock on the side of his GG. BSJ trying to back up, but Jo pushing on forward, and he's going to try and slow him down. That's that first hit bash. Another bash comes in. BSJ going to be taken out by Jo, and that's the hold they need on the side of his GG. Tomato, he's by this shrine, but here come the TPs. He's going to try and take it out. Now QO comes over. There's the Silver Edge to make himself some space. One hit out onto Flea. He will fall, and there's the Shackle Shot. It's going to come in, and now he might be in a little bit of trouble. He's looking to be taken out by the side of his GG, and they will do it as Jo gets credit for the kill, and Team Freedom lose 4.
His bottom tower is under attack.
So a big hold for the side of his GG, and it turns around real nice for him, and now it's 20-20. We take a look at the net worth. It starts to hit back up in the way of his GG, but still down quite a bit. They may not have held the tier 3, but they do hold the racks. So still way up on that net worth is Tomato. He falls for the second time this game. And for IsGG to come back, they're going to need to do that possibly 2 more times. So again, pushing up now has that Mjolnir, is going to be Void. We take a look over at QO, who was forced to buy back in that fight. He's still back with just this Maelstrom, Yasha, almost a Manta style, and the Hurricane Pike. So let's see how much IsGG can do after taking that big fight up top, and if they look to keep the aggression towards the side of Team Freedom and catch them on their heels. So BKB picked up for IX Mike. Tomato with the Satanic, looking for an MKB of his own. And he's that close to being 6-slotted on this Shadow Fiend pretty quickly. Is GG not really trying to force aggression? Sitting back here trying to farm up as much as they can, kind of get QO back into the game as he sits 3,000 net worth behind the Lifestealer and 10,000 behind the Shadow Fiend. So he needs to sit back and farm what he can, and Team Freedom are giving them on the side of his GG a lot of time. They might be looking for the next Roche while they wait, and they possibly will go for this Shrine, but they are up on the side of his GG. This could be a bad move for the side of Freedom. They are going to get the Shrine, and now moving on forward is the Bat Rider, and his GG will just back up. So Freedom being aggressive, but not too aggressive. They take that Shrine, they avoid the fight. Again, they might be sitting back farming and looking for Roche, but as I say that, there's the blink in with the lasso. Infest pop, man in a bit of trouble. He's going to use that wind run, but it's not going to be enough to save his life, as he gets burned down by IX Mike and will fall for 45 seconds. Now moving up top, though, is GG. They might be looking to get themselves a kill on BSJ, who's going to use that Manta, back off, and send his creeps forward. He's on the side, Jo waiting on the wing, and now, let's see if BSJ goes in with his team maybe lurking around the corner. He'll just TP out. So 18 seconds till Roche, and Team Freedom must have a timer on this because they're sitting nearby this Roche pit just waiting for Roche to respawn. They want to get that Aegis. They want to get the cheese. Work towards finishing this game. They want a high ground siege to work in their favor. Jo, he's very far up right now past the river with a lot of Team Freedom nearby, and he'll back off. He'll use that dominated creep to check Roche, and they'll see that it is up. Maybe we see another fight towards this Roche pit, and if IsGG can take a fight here as well as the Aegis, they'll be right back in it. So 4 top, still kind of staying around this Roche pit is Freedom. And they must know it's up. The dominated creep is going to stay in there for the side of his GG, so they know when to make their move. So Freedom back off. Don't head into Roche just yet. They're eyeing it. They want it. BSJ sits in, and we take a look at his GG. They're not making any rotation in just yet. And this Roche is being taken so quickly. There's really nothing the side of IsGG can do. They can only wait for Team Freedom to come to their base at this point. The Aegis out on Tomato, which is very much needed. He had it last go around, but it wasn't enough to get them and secure them these racks up top. So let's see if Freedom can do it again, this time in their favor. It's going to be a bit of trouble, though. As we've seen, that IsGG can hold very well. It all comes down to whether or not they get themselves a good Chronosphere out from Jo. Really does seem as though that is what holds this game in the balance when Team IsGG is defending against Freedom. Both teams kind of just far away from each other, trying to farm and push out these lanes as well as they can. Cheese on BSJ. He's pushing out with his Manta Illusions as well as the Radiance. And pushing bottom is the rest of the side of Team Freedom. So with these illusions, they will spot a couple up top for IsGG. We'll see if they make their way over. Nice illusion fight coming out. Pretty exciting if I do say so myself. Now we take a look over at IX Mike. He is infested, possibly looking for a nice blink lasso play. Not going to find it just yet, as the entire side of IsGG that was nearby, which was 3 of them, back off into their base. Meanwhile, up top, Jayo's going to continue to push. He's keeping the pressure out on the side of Team Freedom by continuing to push these creeps forward. They back off, and now we take a look up top. Tomato is here, trying to get this top set of racks. He does get the range racks, gets hit with the assassinate, and backs off. So IsGG, they give away a racks for free, and Freedom, they back up, reset, and look again. So Tomato continuing to just keep the creep wave pushed in and making sure all goes okay. The Infest is going to be popped out. Another assassination gets thrown in the way of Tomato. Not really going to deter him, considering the fact that he has the Aegis. Looking for a Moon Shard next. And he'll be the front-facing tank of this squad. There's the blink in with the Burrow Strike. Might be in a little bit of trouble. Coming forward is Mad. He's going to get that Shackle Shot. They're just hitting away with him. They might be able to pop this Aegis, but they do not get the Assassinate. So just healing back up with that Satanic is Tomato. And all that is really just nullified as he heals up. They back up, reset once again, and look to keep the pressure onto IsGG. IsGG in a definite hard spot right now. There's the relocate with the blink forward. There's going to be the Manta to avoid this lasso, and now they might be in a bit of trouble. Getting very low is IX Mike, but he ends up getting that lasso off, and they will be able to find themselves a kill on Jo, and right back towards that mid lane is Team Freedom as the relocate pulls them on back. Jo's 9-kill streak is gone, and it's a huge play coming out for Team Freedom, something that they really needed to lock up this high ground. They might force the buyback out from this Faceless Void Jo, but he doesn't even have Chronosphere, something they really rely on to take these fights. So still not buying back, and the tier 3 still stands, but only for a couple of seconds more. Flea in a bit of trouble. Down to half health immediately from Tomato. There's the power shot coming on through. Upheaval, not really doing too much. And they are going to lose another set of racks, it looks like. So just hitting away at Tomato. There is the Solar Crest. Still healing up is Tomato. They haven't lost anybody on the side of Team Freedom. They've lost their mid-racks. There's the BKB as well as the lasso out on QO. QO getting very low. The ulti comes in from the Warlock, but not doing anything. Jo buys back. He's going to have to time walk off the damage from the Requiem of Souls. And now there's the buyback out from QO. They're trying to get something on the return. They do get the Burrow Strike out on the Wisp. Wisp going to be in a whole bunch of trouble. He's going to get hit by that Shackle Shot. He'll be the first one to fall on Team Freedom. They're trying to turn around. BSG might be a little bit too far in. Now he's going to heal himself up with the cheese. He's back to full health, and now it looks as though they're going to try and back up this Sand King. Sand King's going to use that Sandstorm just to find himself some space. The Rage is there for BSJ, as well as the Infest to heal him up just a little bit. Jo still backing up, as now there's the stun out on Tomato. Jo really needs to fall back, as he has bought back already, and would be dead for quite some time if he does fall. 5 still alive here for IsGG, but they do take the second set of racks in full up top. So there's the blink. Burrow Strike comes through on BSJ, who does not have that rage just yet, but it's really not hurting him to take these Burrow Strikes, as well as the power shots coming in through from IsGG. So now IsGG, they're only down to 1 set of racks and a tier 3, and it's trouble for them, as it looks like Team Freedom are way far ahead and would have a tough time throwing this game. As we take a look, it is almost a 30,000 net worth lead for them, and Tomato has that Moon Shard sitting top the net worth at 34,000. BSJ 7,000 behind him, and he has an AC Heart Radiance. Oh boy, Silver Edge might be in a little bit of trouble is Jo, but they're not going to go in. So coming over is Team Freedom. We haven't really seen too many aggressive relocate plays. We did see that one that did end up getting Jo. He was forced to buy back, as well as QO. That was the only time they really did it, and it worked out in their favor. Now coming over with the Firefly, they might be able to find something. There's the Infest, and now the Force Staff forward. BKB is used, and the Infest is popped. Jo getting very low, and he will fall. 90 seconds on the sideline. Despite having that 0-5 start, IX Mike has proven himself back with another big Blink Lasso. So no Jo for 75 seconds. They look towards the tier 3. They take it with these. There's the epicenter coming through on BSJ and the Burrow Strike, but it does pretty much nothing except put his own life in danger, and now they'll take this last set of racks. And with that, GG will be called, and Team Freedom, they take this game, improve their record, and is GG. They go down to an 0-2 record in the group stage. So Team Freedom win. When we take a look over at what we've got next, it'll be Freedom versus Wheel in just a moment on this channel. On the other channel will be Onyx versus Fire. So I'm your caster, Bkop. Follow me on Twitter at Bkop92. And follow me here on Twitch. So it's been fun casting. We'll be back in just a moment with the last game for me for the day. Freedom versus Wheel. We'll be back in just a moment.